welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. Last time around, we had quite the big battle, naval battle that is, in the Mediterranean, as we took on a Ottoman invasion force. Not that we know where it was going, but as it was in front of us, it's better to run it down than let it pass. And since then, I've gone ahead and end turn, so now we have full moves all across the board, and quite a few armies have replenished. I'm thinking, since we kind of do it Austria first, then Russia, we're gonna do the same here, because now a lot of my armies have replenished their troops. I've already moved a few, so I moved the army from Hanover down to here to start the process of taking over these regions right here, and then I moved some armies into positions over here. It looks as though one thing that did happen during the end turn, which I probably should mention, is they moved out a big force from Hungary, or in Pressburg. They moved out a substantial force from there, and then they attacked the cavalry detachment that I had sent forward, which is now actually up here, because at the end turn I moved them back to rendezvous with the troops that were recruited in Warsaw, the replenishments that came down. But they moved out of Pressburg to push that army away, so for a moment this army was isolated, but now it's the other way around, whereas this army can actually move down and attack and take these guys out. And they probably will get the aid of the cavalry to the north of them. So I think we could go ahead and take Buda and Pest. So it's not Budapest at this point. I guess they grow together to become Budapest at some point. They have not achieved their final form. So it's Buda and Pest at this point. So there's one, but that's not like a major thing, like a major combat point. Instead, we're gonna look at some other ones that are more major, which is the movements towards their capital. So I'm gonna bring the biggest army forward first to attack their capital. They do not have a particularly substantial force in their home well, no, actually they've got 8,000 men. They got tons of garrison militia. Thing though is siege battles are horrible, especially the ones in the large fort, so we're not going to do that one. The smaller army, which I guess could move over here, but I really want to make sure to isolate these guys in Budapest. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this one over, and we're going to crush the enemy over at Pressburg, taking over Hungary, and then isolating this army. They do get reinforcements from Pressburg? Or no, not from Pressburg, from Budapest. So I guess we need to take them out first by bringing these guys down, because then this one becomes an out-result. So it looks like this one is going to possibly be the battle we do today. The other one is this one, as this army would be moving down and attacking these. It could be that they get intercepted as they try to cross the bridge, because these two combine outnumber us. So that could be one battle over there, and then we have this battle over here, and that kind of completes a lot of this. Still building up this force. It needs cavalry, which is being recruited, and also artillery, which is also being recruited. We got some more riflemen. I don't know if I will be able to push this one into battle, given the state the war is in right now. Then we have the army here, which is now being supplemented by light infantry moving in, and then we're also starting to recruit cavalry, which will come next turn. So they should be able to move next turn and start their move towards Petrovskaya in the Karelian region, taking over that. I actually saw off an army here off camera that attacked Moscow. But it was, you know, it was one of those horrible sieges. But we managed to see them off. So it's a bit more cleared up here. Looks like there might be still one more battle as these will replenish. And then we can smash another Russian army over here. And then it looks like we could be able to move. These guys are now on the move. I have recruited troops to station as garrison there. I've set them on a course right now to march towards Astrakhan instead of going for this army. I think if this one starts to move forward after the first move, it would still be within range of me to march back before they would be able to get there. So it's not that bad. And also, since we lost one of the pike units, I've recruited a replenishment which is moving in and will hopefully join them at some point. The navy of the battle obviously moved over here, so we're waiting for them to be replenished, both in crew and then refurbished a bit, as they took quite a bit of a beating. And then we'll go on to attack here, and we can bring in these guys to reinforce. Not entirely sure if this is a big battle. There are a lot more bomb cache, which I actually, when looking at the replay, I actually saw where that boat turned up, and it kind of turned up way too close to one of my ships and got absolutely destroyed. And with all of that, I think, I guess there's only one more conflict area, and this one, where I guess we could now move to actually lay siege, make sure that they cannot recruit any troops. We will be replenishing our troops, so next turn they will be ready. Turns to surrender 2. Interesting that they... well, it is an island, and we would be completely surrounding the fort. Could be problem with water supply and a lot of other things. Have I recruited cavalry here yet? Yes, the 2 dragoon units have been recruited. And I could actually, if I want to, move them over to aid. But probably not going to do that right now. And then there was someone commented about me going for more North American colonies. It would be this area right here in Georgia, which is currently controlled by the Austrians. But I think once all the Austrian territory falls in Europe, all the colonies kind of go become rebels. And with that, I think I've come to a point where I realize which battle we should do first, and that is we should clear up this area before we try to clear up this area. So we'll start over here, and this one also enables me to out-resolve this one. So we'll clear up a big area here, and then this one will be the next one. And there's no real clear battles in Russia, so it looks like it's going to be these two, and then end turn. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take on the enemy army at Buda and Pest. Not entirely sure why he had to cross over the bridge once more. We outnumber them. We do not get the reinforcement of the cavalry, which is a shame. But I think we'll do just fine without it. And with that said, let's go ahead and take on the Austrians. So we're somewhere at the outskirts of Buda and Pest. Can't really see them, so we're far, far away from them, I guess. Anyways, the enemy is centered around this little town. And they've got some few impossible terrains and stuff, but I don't think they will use them. As the enemy has a lot of cavalry, we'll start off defensive to start off with. And I've built up quite a good defense, I think.
We have the howitzers in the center. Probably should put troops in front of them, but never mind that, as I intend to put these Albanian warbands in front. And they'll also, as we start, deploy their spikes, so we'll have plenty of anti-cavalry defenses to the front of us. And then if the enemy comes past that, they'll run into the Marines. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Let's deploy the stakes. So we'll have plenty of stakes and stuff. Right. Looking at the enemy formation, it looks as though they were planning to defend as well, which is not that surprising, as the enemy outnumbers us in cannons, and for most part they would also outrange us, as they've got 12-pounder round shot cannon. However, they've decided to deploy their cannons, or not deploy them at all actually, within fire range, and I really want to blow that 12-pounder. That's the one we want to go for. The 3-pounders, not so much. With the first battery volley, we took out 2 of the cannons out of this 3-pounder group, and that seemed to have pushed the enemy to move for an attack. But we are already set behind I was about to say barbed wire, but that's not really what we're looking at. So we'll have loads and loads of Albanian warbands in front, just to take the edge of the enemy's attacks. And then once they get past that, they'll run into all my Marines. For now, I'm gonna tell the Marines to hold fire, and I'm only gonna put them on fire selectively as I see the enemy approach. We've got a smaller group of Grenadier Horse Guards. It's a Dragoon unit, and they rode onto the spikes, and if the Albanians were clever, they would have shot them down, since they were nowhere near the numbers enough to hope to do any damage on us. And I don't want to tell the Marines to open fire, because we'll probably kill plenty more Albanians. This is one of the problems here, so we barely, I think we probably didn't shoot anyone here. That is because Empire, they shoot into the wall, or like into the mountain in front of them. They're not like in Napoleon, where they have to see the enemy force to actually be able to fire upon them. They'll fire upon them anyway, so the enemy is being fired upon, but they're actually behind the hill there. So I think we might want to have these 3 right here hold fire, and then I select when they fire. Also, I noticed the enemy is starting to ramp up there. Oh, they've actually killed 70 people out of this unit. What guns are they trained on us? They've got the 3-pounder over there, which is the only one left, as I kill the 12-pounder. So I want to aim all guns but one. One gun is going to go for that one, and that should hopefully break the enemy. Right, the Albanians, which I told to hold fire, do not actually hold fire, which is a bit strange, but it doesn't matter, because the enemies, like Dragoons, have moved within range and are now actually taking casualties, but also actually inflicting casualties, as, I mean, they could be hiding behind the hill there, but obviously they would not be able to, just as we would not be able to shoot them, they would not be able to shoot us. I want to redraw the line here, just so they obey my order. So we've got Hungarian Fusiliers marching up, which I believe they had 3 of those units, and then some Hungarian Grenadiers as well. I'm hoping to blast the enemy's artillery to pieces as soon as bloody well possible, which I do think we have. I can't see the smaller artillery piece, so we'll hopefully have brought that one down. They only have 2 cannons left in this one. Because I do want... oh, there it is. Because I do want my troops... okay, so this one. I think this one is fair to say that that one can fire, and this one can fire, as the provincial cavalry should be within range. This one has yet to find any targets. The enemy charges headlong into our defenses. They actually found a spot where it was kind of open, so they actually got through to the Albanians. But they're still plenty outnumbered by our troops. We have another Carabinier unit moving in. Oh, the Hungarians are firing by volley, are they? And behind them, it's the Royal Hungarians. Could possibly be that the Hungarians... right, now you will open fire, as militia has been sighted on the hill. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and fire. Have we not blasted that one to bits yet? These have come way too close, so I'm gonna tell these 2 marine units to fire at will, even though we're going to probably hit some of our own Albanian warband guys. I like how the captain of these marines is standing on top of the wall, urging his men right next to the flag. I want you to kind of hold still, or hold your position in front there. We've got a small unit of guards charging in, and he's charging that captain. I think we're gonna tell this one to open fire as well. And looking at it right now, it looks like the enemy is concentrating towards the center. I will do like so, and then we'll bring these 3 towards the center. These guys are firing, this one's firing. I don't care too much about the Albanians now, so let's open fire over here just to make sure that we're not running into any problems. I can't be everywhere on the battlefield at the same time, so we're gonna have to forgo some Albanian lives for the comfort of knowing that I'm pulling down shots on the enemy across the field. Looks like the howitzer is about to be overrun. I'm gonna tell them to go melee attack and then pull back. The general's gonna pull back, and I do have 3 more units of marines coming in to take their place. So they'll line up like so. And we'll already now be telling them to fire at will, so they'll be pulling down shots on the enemy. These are still firing. I'll tell them to hold fire, switch to explosive, and prepare to fire upon the enemy. Hungarian Fusiliers are getting flank fired as they're fighting the Albanians. So I don't think it's gonna go too well for them. And even if they manage to defeat the Albanians, they'll still have to turn towards the Marines, which will be quite problematic as it is. Seem to be holding here. And now these guys are firing onto the Royal Hungarians that have gone through. Second rank got off their shots. And I'm wondering if maybe I should countercharge before the Albanians, or not the Albanians, the Hungarians get their shots off. The Albanians are retreating, but that doesn't matter much. Let's see, are they... They did not manage to fire, so I did rightly not to charge the enemy. Now they return fire, but it's way too late. Although it was kind of devastating. But now it's second rank fire, and then third. I do think the Royal Hungarians gonna turn tail and run. The Marines over here, not doing too well. I'm gonna turn this one, like so. And then I'm gonna see if I can pull this one back under the cover fire from this one. A lot of the enemy is pulling back. We've got constant fire going back and forwards here. What I think I'll do is I'll put these on the hill and come down upon them from the hill. Get the Albanians back on the front line. We've got a large contingent of enemy troops pulling back. Where are the howitzers? So we still got 3 groups of howitzers. Right, as we pulled back, it has left these guys in the open. And we're shooting this grenadier group and what was the other? Garrison guard. Shooting them down. We've got a small unit of Freikorps and Karlstadt Grenzers. They look pretty Hungarian with their mullets, not the mullets, which... well, maybe not the mullet is the most Hungarian thing about them, it's the uniform, of course. I don't know, it's... I've seen a lot of the... Hungarian troops have mullets, so... I think we just shot a load of our own. A load of my own howitzer crew there. But we're gonna get those Karlstadters. Right, I'm gonna line up and then we're gonna move within range, being able to lay down upon the Hungarian Fusiliers. The 56th Regiment looks to be ready to go anyways, as they've been fighting the 28th Foot Guard Marines from a very good position, and then also the Albanian Warband. The Albanian Warband has lost half of its men, but the enemy has not been able to gain any significant amount of ground there, so I think we can call it clear victory for us. We'll draw the lines as long as possible, and then to have 2 of these Marines move forward upon the enemy is most likely gonna be devastating enough to send them away. They've realized the threat and are wheeling to combat it, but we will get the first shots off, and now they're completely alone, facing down 3 units of Marines plus the Albanian Warband, and the volleys start to roll in over the Hungarian Fusiliers, which are rapidly losing troops stationed out here in the open. A sensible commander would withdraw to rejoin the rest of the groups which they pulled back, but looks like that's not the case for this commander. He's instead returning fire. They've managed to inflict 9 casualties, 15 casualties, and finally 25 here with the last volley. I've ordered the howitzers to open fire, and hopefully we'll get some howitzer fire coming in here, clearing away. these Hungarians before they are able to fire the second volley, which they are. 2 men were only cut down with the first. A bit more with the second, and now the howitzer shots are coming in. They realized the game is up. But before they leave, they lost plenty of men. The commander is still alive. Right. Let's look over our position and look over what the enemy has. Tell the artillery to hold fire. And then fire at will. The enemy has 3 infantry regiments. They still have that 3-pounder. They have a small unit of Landwehr and the General's Bodyguard. So what do they have? Landwehr, Royal Hungarians, and Hungarian Fusiliers. Quite fitting that they have a army made up of so many Hungarian units. This brigade will move over here. One of the Albanian groups will move over here. We'll keep this one behind, and we'll keep these 2 behind. 3-pounders are pounding towards us. We'll have they're back. We'll move up these as a 2nd brigade that will sweep through while this one sweeps down from the hill. And as these intend to fight us, then we will move in to fight them. I don't know what the Albanians are fighting or shooting at. They have nothing within range. You will move around, set up over there, and this 3rd brigade, as it's done with this one, it can go in and aid. But I imagine at that point that the enemy force has already been defeated. I'm not entirely sure what the Albanians are firing at. There's no enemies close by. Damned hard stuff, those Hungarians, as they keep fighting, even though we have severely depleted their numbers. They're down to 83 men. And we're not doing that much damage, but they have not done that much damage either. Just saw a guy die over there. Right. You will set up on that side, start delivering damage. I think the Albanians are the ones that'll send these guys off, as they have quite high accuracy. And they're also the one that closest, and they don't have the forest in front of them to catch any bullets. They're down to a single line of 71 men. I really like the uniform on these guys. Even though, I mean, Darth Mod, compared to, say, what's the other one called? Imperial Destroyer. I really like the uniforms in Imperial Destroyer. They're so much better looking. Right. You will move in to be on the flank. Albanians can be on the hill overhead. Hold fire. And I want the main line to hold fire as well. Let's see if we can allow the enemy... Oh, the 3-pounder just shot over there. Thing is, this one will... These 3 will only be able to really put down on the Landwehr, while the topography is not going to allow most of this regiment to actually fire over on these. But it seems like the enemy is moving. Right, you have orders to return fire upon the Landwehr. And I'm gonna hold off for as long as possible until we open up on the Royal Hungarian Line Infantry, which is followed by the Hungarian Fusiliers. Wait for it. Okay, we're we've gone a bit disorderly, so I'm gonna order them now, just so that they're right in front of us as we fire.
Second rank!
Cannonball strikes. Can I get the howitzers to fire over here? Why is it second? There we go. Quickly now! Quickly now! They're focusing in on this one with quite devastating fire, I must say. The Royal Hungarians are though running away as they took quite the beating from those close volleys. Plus, I think the howitzer shot took out their captain. No, he's still alive actually. Now we should march on those Hungarian Fusiliers. We're able to put some flank fire down upon them, but I want this one to advance up on the ridge, which is kind of going through here. I'm not entirely sure why the Albanians decided to formate themselves like that to deal with the Landwehr. And then 3rd Brigade is hopefully ready to take out the General. We've got 2nd Brigade, and a redraw 3rd. The Hungarian Fusiliers are repositioning themselves just as the howitzer shots are starting to land. So they're facing down 3 Marines. I mean, I don't know how really they program the AI, but it would be so much better if they... A lot of battles would work so much better if they just actually stopped. Or if just like they would have moved to the closest enemy unit and start to exchange fire with them. Rather than all this moving about that they usually do and charging. Because usually they go too close, lose too many men by just marching straight into fire. Okay, both the regiments are pulling back. The general is wavering, so is the militia, and there we go. Victory was achieved. That's why it's going to be a lot more interesting once I start the live stream campaign for the Peninsula campaign in Napoleon Total War. Anyways, let's end this battle then, and go ahead and completely take over the Hungarian region.
And here we do have the results. So we lost 1,700 men, while the enemy lost their entire force. Well, technically 385, but I don't think they'll make it anywhere. We can see that the Marines, since they comprised half the army, is not that surprising. It's a bit of a shame that it doesn't actually say which Marine, so it's pretty hard to distinguish which one. But this one only lost 79 men, while killing almost 300. The Albanians lost a lot, but then again, I kind of used them that way. And they didn't actually kill that many. But then again, I think it's a large amount of what that... Also, the howitzers didn't kill that many. Which I'm kind of surprised. Because usually artillery is really important, but I think it's a mismatch of that they actually kill more, but somehow it escapes the statistics. Damn it! I was hoping that we wouldn't get a small force like that running away, especially cavalry. But I think we could just march out these two. And that's a clear out to resolve. And boom. They're gone. Which should allow me to take over this. We get these as reinforcements, which I don't like. Or no, I mean the... Wait. Yeah, oh, this one. Yeah, that doesn't matter. I thought we were gonna get these as reinforcements. That doesn't matter.
let's see, demand surrender, they refuse, we out-resolve, we lose 1,000 men. But then again, they had 3,000 in a fort, so maybe not that surprising. And the Hungarian region falls to us. Can I recruit anything special here? I noticed one thing, that I was able to recruit in Brandenburg, which is the Bohemian Grenzers. I first thought that I would get in kind of in the Bohemian region, that they would be, that I would get them here. But no, you can't actually recruit them in Bohemia, or in nearby Dresden, or in nearby Breslau, but in Berlin for some reason. But I'm pretty sure that that the reason why I can recruit them is because I've taken this region. Right, next battle will be this one right here, going forwards. Will most likely drag in this army as well, which will be a major part of the enemy over there. This one can hopefully march and take out this one as an out-resolve. We can lay siege to that one and siege it to the end. Hopefully this army will actually move out of the fort and I can take care of them outside. But this will be that for this episode. And so I say, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.